All right, good evening, everybody. Just checking in with the latest on this rain threat that we have in the middle of this week. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Fred Campagna. I want to keep you updated on what is coming our way, and we've got some heavy downpours that are on the way, particularly tomorrow night. So most of the heavier rain, I think, will come between sunset and sunrise, moving out probably before sunrise, moving out of Atlanta and out of West Georgia. It may take until around sunrise for that rain to move out of East Georgia, out in the Athens way. So let's take a look at what is going on right now. Today was such a gray day. It was just cloudy most of the day. And so what we have out there this evening, temperatures haven't changed very much. There's the temperature map right now, and it's between about 46 and 52 degrees. So not a wide range of temperatures across the area with that cloud cover overhead. I want to go bigger picture here to show you what is coming our way. And right now, although there is a tornado watch that's out, as you can see, to our west over parts of East Texas, northern Louisiana, western Mississippi, and southern Arkansas. At this point, it doesn't look like we have any severe storms out that way. So let me just triple check and make sure that I have the warnings on there. But right now, I don't see anything. And yeah, the warnings are on. So that's a little bit of good news that right now, even though there's a tornado watch for that area, we're not finding any significant severe weather. There's definitely some heavy, heavy rain in there in those downpours, but nothing that is severe right now. Here's how the rest of tonight looks, and we're going to have cloud cover throughout the night. Temperatures will basically hold in the mid-40s by early tomorrow morning. I don't expect it to be a wet Wednesday morning commute, but later on in the morning you can start to see that rain getting a little bit closer, and it looks like the rain will start to get steadier in northwest Georgia as we hit the midday hours in West Georgia in general, and then that rain's just going to continue to spread in from the west to the east. I want to show you where there's a flood watch in effect as well. It's northwest Georgia, so for our viewing area, the Atlanta News First viewing area, that's Chattooga County, Floyd County, and Gordon County that are under that flood watch. And then, of course, you can go up into Dade and Walker counties up there in the northwestern part of the state, also under the flood watch. And 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain is possible in those areas with the timing on it. Again, tomorrow mainly afternoon, and then through tomorrow night and into very early on Thursday. I want to walk you through a few different weather graphics here just to show you what we're looking at. Well, let's talk about the setup first of all. So this has been a very energetic system, brought blizzard conditions to parts of the west, brought severe weather, and as you can see, has brought tornadoes to south of Oklahoma City and Oklahoma, and then buried in all of those wind damage reports around Dallas. There's a couple of tornado reports too, and then just most recently, a couple of tornado reports that are not far from Shreveport in the western part, northwestern corner of Louisiana, maybe even in the far eastern part of Texas. So this storm definitely has a history of producing severe weather, but it is not going to do that in North Georgia. And the reason for it is the wedge, is because of how cool it is out there right now. So cool air has been sliding down the Appalachians, moving in from the east to the west. We see this happen so often. And that wedge of cool air just provides a lot more stability to the atmosphere as far as severe weather is concerned than when it's like really warm and muggy, which is what it is right now off to our west. So that's why the severe weather threat out that way is considerably higher than what we have. And notice how the severe weather threat shifts even tomorrow into tomorrow night. It stays well off to our southwest. As a matter of fact, the level 1 risk does not make it into our viewing area. It gets close to Troup County, but it doesn't quite make it in. However, we still have the potential, and I showed you that flood watch, of getting enough rain to cause some flash flooding or to cause some flooding of streams and creeks. And it's a 15% risk right now. So you see the scale there, it goes 5, 15, 40, and 70. So it's not at the higher end of the scale, but it is something to be aware of. We have been relatively wet of late, so we have been getting a decent amount of rain. The ground is a lot more saturated than it was. Some creeks and streams are running at least normal, if not a little bit higher than normal. So that's one of the things we'll be watching for. Mainly late tomorrow night, I think, would be the risk time for any of that. And anything that does flood, I don't think it's going to be too long lasting because this is a fast moving system. And you'll notice how we go through the rest of tonight. Again, a few showers are possible by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, mainly north and west. And then as we go through the day, this is just one projection that we're looking at right here. And I'm constantly getting new information into the Atlanta News First Weather Center, into the First Alert Weather Center. And this particular projection shows it pretty soggy by 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, or at least showery across North Georgia. We'll see. There are other computer models that have it a lot drier. But I think by late in the day, we'll at least see scattered showers, if not some steady rain. So just allow a little extra time if you can, and you need to go out tomorrow late afternoon or early tomorrow evening. Look at the temperature contrast too. 59 LaGrange, which isn't really warm, but it's warmer than what we'll have in Canton and in Gainesville, where it's just going to be a very chilly rain that's falling with temperatures in the mid-40s. This is 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. There's the heavier rain coming through, and it's late tomorrow evening, after midnight, but before dawn. Temperature may briefly get up into the lower 60s, maybe as far north as just south of I-20. We'll have to see how far that gets to the north. That might be a little bit farther, but down around the Hampton area, Griffin, I think there's a good chance of getting to around 60 late tomorrow night. LaGrange, Covington, Athens, it'll be close in those areas, probably not. But watch how quickly this all moves out to the east. So by 7 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, at least with this current projection, this latest information that we have, which actually came in this afternoon. So this will be updated. I'll have this updated for you tonight on Atlanta News First on Peachtree TV between 9 and 11 o'clock. I'll continue to get new information in. I'll show you the very latest, what I'm expecting. And then, of course, on Atlanta News First at 11 o'clock. I can give you another update if you can't watch either of those earlier newscasts. Watch what happens too as the day goes on Thursday. So Thursday actually doesn't look like a bad day. We'll break into some sunshine. Temperatures will be in the mid-50s. There's no really warm weather coming our way. As a matter of fact, on the contrary, we're probably going to be a little bit colder than normal as we go into this weekend. So it dries out Thursday afternoon and the temperature's in the 50s, but then it's only around 53 on Friday. And then it's into the 40s Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So cold stuff coming our way. Those are high temperatures that we're looking at right there. Normal highs in the mid-50s. Actual high will be in the mid and upper 40s for a few days. We haven't had any days that cold since November 20th. So by the weekend, that'll be, about 4 weeks since the last time we had a day as chilly as we'll see on, say, Saturday or Sunday. So 35 for a low Saturday morning, 32 freezing on Sunday morning. It's not unusual to have that at this time of the year, but we've been pretty warm of late, so it might come as a little bit of a shock. 30 degrees on Monday, and then if you haven't heard anything about this, you are going to be hearing about it, and it is the potential for major, big-time cold air coming into the United States leading up to and around Christmas. This shows the odds of seeing colder than normal weather. So the darker the blue or almost purplish color in there, that means that there is a very high likelihood of the temperature being colder than normal when averaged out over a 6-day span from December 21st through the 27th. That's what we're looking at right here. So this includes the Christmas weekend, just before it, just after it. And it is extremely likely that it's going to be colder than normal in most of the eastern United States, with the core of that cold air possibly centered around the Midwest. It's possible Texas could get incredibly cold. Now, here in North Georgia, it is less certain, but I would still say that it's likely that it is going to be cold around Christmas. Just a couple of years ago, we had a really cold Christmas where I think the temperature didn't get much above like 35. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like 20 in the morning. It was a sunny day, but it was a really, really cold day. So we could be in for something along those lines. It's still a little too far out to give a day-to-day forecast. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, well, what about a white Christmas? When there's that much cold air in the eastern United States, if that cold air is already established, if it gets in here, say on the 23rd or the 24th, or even on Christmas itself, and there's a storm system that potentially develops along the boundary and maybe rides up in this direction, then yeah, there's the possibility that we could see some wintry weather in that time frame. But it's just a possibility right now. So let me show you what I was just drawing there. So if where those arrows are, if that's the boundary right there, right? So if we get a storm system that rides up right along that, then you'd have some precipitation on the northern side of it, overrunning some colder air, and we'd have the potential for some wintry weather. That's not necessarily a forecast. That's just explaining what the setup is as far as the cold air goes and what it would take for us to get some wintry weather around Christmas. But in the near term, again, the focus is on the rain that's coming our way. Here's one computer model's projection of how much rain we may see, mainly later Wednesday into very early Thursday. If you're on the road really early Thursday morning, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, you have a better chance of running into the rain than if you're on the road at, say, 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. I think by then it could be long gone and hard to find in West Georgia and in Atlanta, and moving out of Athens at around that time, 7 o'clock or so on Thursday morning. This is the rain forecast through Friday, because we do have dry weather coming our way after this rain moves out for a few days. All right, so I'm going to go get ready for our newscast coming up on Peachtree TV at 9 and at 10 o'clock. Just stay with us. Download the First Alert Weather app if you haven't already. We continuously update that several times a day. Different Atlanta News First meteorologists, First Alert meteorologists, Cutter Martin and Ellen Dorsey and Courtney Jacobazzi and Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez and Rodney Harris and myself. We will do quick video updates, just 1-minute video updates, and they're a great way to get the latest on what the forecast is. And we send push alerts. We don't send you too many push alerts. We send you what we think is just the right amount. You can also get rain alerts. You can configure all this within the app. You can get severe weather alerts, lightning alerts. It's a really good app. It's a really good app. Let me show you one more thing. Someone just weighed in and said, I thought we were in a drought. Well, we are in a drought. You can see that this is the latest drought update. So West Georgia not in drought, but most of Atlanta, at least on the east side and right up through the connector and up top end of the perimeter in Fulton County, all in a moderate drought. So this is a drought that has been slowly easing. It was a more significant drought just a couple of weeks ago, but we've had rain in the last couple of weeks, and the rain that we get now may take some of that tan shading, which is a moderate drought, and put it back into the yellow category, or possibly wipe it out altogether. So, Tim, you're right. We are, many of us are still under a moderate drought, but there is rain on the way. That has been helping that. And November was a normal amount of rain. So far, December has been normal, but what we get this week will push it to above normal through the middle of the month, and we'll see what comes our way in the second half of the month. All right, have a good rest of your evening. And again, you can watch us on Peachtree TV 9 to 11, and then on Atlanta News First at 11 o'clock. See you then.